Hey guys, Griffin here. Today I'm going to show you how to buy an NFT for as cheaply as possible. For this example, I'll be using OpenSea on Ethereum, but you could use this for any platform that you want on any chain that you want. And so I'll just be showing you step by step the best way that I approach buying NFTs. And as long as you have some patience, this strategy works really well. You can get a fire deal if you're very careful with it. So let's jump straight into it. Today, I'm going to be showing you how to do this with a Gala Games NFT for Web3 gaming. However, again, this could apply to all sorts of different types of NFTs, whatever you're interested in. So let's go to the collection that we're looking to purchase something from. And we can do a couple of things here, but I'm going to navigate to the NFT I want to purchase first. If you don't care what type of NFT that you're getting in the actual collection here, then you can go ahead and hit the analytics at the top for the entire collection. If it's like a profile picture thing, for example, and they're all somewhat the same with baseline stats. But since this collection is broken up across all sorts of different asset classes, I find it best to go into the actual asset for this. And so right now you can see the current price of 0.599 ETH for this Picard. I tend to use this particular asset actually to gauge kind of how the market is doing, because it tends to fluctuate pretty well with what you're actually seeing in the broad market, because this game hasn't been released yet. And so that means that this NFT is pretty well speculation based, and that allows you to get a really good insight into what's going on. And so you can see that there's been quite a lot of price fluctuation for this asset over the last year, but it's mostly hovered around this range, with some sales going for much lower, like 0.2 or 0.3, and some sales earlier in the year going even as high as a few ETH. And so this 0.6 price isn't actually a bad price. And if I did want to purchase that, I wouldn't be too upset about it. However, you can see down here, and what we're going to be talking today is this offer functionality. And so what you can do is you can come in here and offer up a bid, essentially, that anyone who owns this NFT can fill so that you can get a better price on it. And so most of the time you'll see low bids in here, just made by bots that are applying liquidity, and then they will relist to try and make a profit instantly. But what you can do is, if you're actually interested in purchasing this NFT, just go ahead and make an offer a little bit above the bot offer. And so I would recommend doing, roughly 5% above the bot offer. And that will enable it so that it eats into their profit margins if they do decide to scale up that price on you. So it'll be less likely that they overtake you. And so we can see here that there have been sales for as low as 0.3 wrapped Ethereum, which is typically what the offers are denominated in. And so that is much better than the 0.6 or 0.5999 ETH that we're seeing right now, right? So even sales as soon as a few days ago for that price. And then 10 days ago, we've got 0.4, 0.23. So there's really a precedent for these low offers being taken, because people are kind of scared right now with the bear market. And so you can really make a killing here if you're confident that you'll be able to flip this at some point in the future. Say that there's news upcoming, or in this example, the game might come out and people will play it, and so that could be an event that you're willing to stick around for. And so if you're willing to be patient and put in these low offers, then you're going to be able to flip this at some point in the future, or even use it in game and make profit off of it that way. So if you can get a good enough deal, it's always a good idea to try and put in a low offer and just see if it takes. And so that's the main strategy. Just put in a low bid and wait. And then if you get overtaken by these bots, you can always fix it back up. But you just click make offer here, connect your wallet. You can use any Ethereum compatible wallet for OpenSea here. Like they have a show more option. So there's all kinds. Obviously, I would prefer if you use the GameStop wallet, just because I'm biased, but feel free to use any of these. MetaMask is by far the one I have the most use time in personally, so I can definitely recommend that one as well. And so as long as you have a Ethereum L1 compatible wallet, you can pick anything up here on OpenSea. And so there's all sorts of really cool NFTs in this collection. Let's take a look at another example just to kind of get an idea and see if this strategy still makes sense. So this is an exemplar. It's a character item, so it's typically a bit cheaper because it's not like an asset like that boat that we were looking at, right? And so it's been trading similarly low though, about 0.1 ETH in that range, and maybe as high as 0.2. So this list price here of $200 makes a lot of sense for the historical trading price of this recently. But if you wanted to get an even better deal, I mean, they've got 145 USDC. I personally, I wouldn't be that patient. Like this is a close enough gap that it would make sense to just go ahead and buy this if you really wanted it. But if you're the type who's trying to scalp a deal here and that's your main goal, I would highly recommend you to look for a bigger gap in these offers to the list price and see if you can really snatch something for a steal. Because people get desperate and they need liquidity. And so you can take advantage of that, like a sale for 150, 5,800 Gala, which is pretty low, 5,700 Gala. And so, if you notice a big gap between the low offers and the current list price, definitely try and slide in there and take advantage of that if it's an asset you're really convinced you need. And let's just look at one more. We'll look at a piece of land, which usually has pretty low liquidity and higher value. So let's do this homestead here. That's perfect. So currently this is listed for $1,400, which is a considerable amount of money. But you can see here, some of these have traded even as high as, 14 ETH at one time. Wow, that's a really high sale. And yes, usually around the 1 to 5 range, 3 to 5 looks like. And so $1,400 is about 1.2 ETH in today's prices, so it's not horrible for what this is traded historically. You can see a 0.57 ETH, but remember in 2021, the price of ETH was actually much higher than it is now. So this is just in ETH nominal terms. It's not giving you the actual dollar amounts, and so that can be somewhat misleading when you're looking at this pricing history data as well. So just something to keep in mind there. But I would say that 1,400 is a reasonable price for this based on historicals, and the offers reflect that. I mean, these are decent offers for what you would be getting right now. And 0.85 WETH, I mean, that's pretty competitive, honestly. This may not even be a bot. This might be a person. This one, I think, is a bot because we saw that a couple other times as well. But so this is like an example of the strategy that I'm talking to you about, right? And you can set lower expirations if you want, or higher, depending on if you want to instill urgency or if you've got all the time in the world, And so he put in about 5% more here than the current offer, and that's a really great way to do it, so that you beat out the bot, right? And yeah, I think that this would be a great asset to own if you're looking to get into Mirandus. Like if you really want to have some land to call your own, then you could totally use this strategy here like this man is doing and get yourself some land. But yeah, totally applicable to every single NFT in gaming. I mean, this is really the strat that I use quite a bit to get good prices. And so if it's a tight market and there's high liquidity, then feel free to use buy now, especially if you feel like you might miss out on some profits if you don't. But in the bear market, when people are not seeing a whole lot of sales in general, there's just not a lot of liquidity. Feel free to come in here and make some low bids. You'd be surprised at what you can get. And take a look at some of the extra data if you have the opportunity to. If you're pretty new to this, buying NFTs on marketplaces like this, there's all kinds of tools that you can use to check out historical data on individual NFTs or collections or all sorts of things. Like one of my favorites is Nansen.ai. It's very expensive, so I wouldn't recommend it to you if you're a beginner. But it's very helpful if you are trading a lot of volume and you're able to kind of take advantage of those numbers, because I used to trade NFTs a lot during the bull market. I would flip all sorts of stuff, and so Nansen made its money back for me in spades. And if we see ourselves in that type of an environment again, I would definitely recommend that you take a look at that. But right now I just don't see a use case for it, because a lot of this data that you can get from OpenSea or other comparable marketplaces is pretty good anyway. And the high prices, just you're going to be struggling to make back the fees that you're going to have to pay monthly for something like that. And so if you're using this bidding strategy anyway, the historical data that I showed you of the actual pricing in ETH of the object mapped with an overlay of the historical cost of ETH is going to be plenty. So I hope you learned something today. That's all I have for you. Be sure to leave a comment if this was helpful for you, or a like. And I appreciate you. I hope you had a good day. Thanks.